Welcome to the Windy City Bender Podcast with your hosts, Nolly, Poetzy, and Jarom.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of the Windy City Bender Podcast. My name is Poetzy, along with Nolly.
Hey.
And Jarom.
Hello.
So you didn't have to pay that guy for that. I could do this whole thing.
Sounds cool, though.
Pay who for what?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us again here, guys. We're going to...
oh, God. Kessler and Johansson off the draw. Just Sorry.
We're watching the Predators and Anaheim Game 3.
Oh, they're
as we're
chirping.
doing this,
they're ready to go.
As we're doing this podcast.
All right.
Oh, that was anticlimactic.
Gonna start out with a little bit of Hawks talk and then go into NHL talk about the conference finals a little bit, and then a little bit of Vegas coming to Chicago. And we'll finish that with our good old Riding Pine. So starting out with the Hawks talk.
Hawk stack.
Scotty Darling almost went to the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Isn't that a little bit of a, unwritten NHL rule that you don't trade within your own division?
Oh, Patrick Sharp.
Johnny Oduya. Steven Johns.
Andrew Ladd.
I'm going to take a drink.
Apparently there's no rules for the Hawks.
No, because if the Hawks are going to lose the division, they want to make sure Bowman is responsible for it.
Yeah.
They want to make sure it's our own kind doing it. So, Dallas's first target for goalie was Scott Darling instead of Ben Bishop. So they went to pursue him. However, the Hawks wanted a third-round pick, obviously, which is what they got from Carolina. But Dallas said that they were not willing to give up a third-round pick for Scott Darling, which kind of doesn't make sense to me because they gave a fourth-round pick for Ben Bishop, who's older, and they ended up giving about probably $1 million more than they would for Darling. So why not just give up the third-round pick instead of the fourth? And
I guess they're thinking that Bishop is more of a set-in-stone kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I read that it was Neil is the GM, right, for
Jim
Dallas. Jim Neal. Yeah, he
Jim
said
Neal.
that
a milli.
he felt that Darling has, while he's proven enough, that he hasn't proven enough to have an asking price of a third-round pick. Which
we were upset that we only got a third rounder.
Well, I mean,
and they're like, oh, hell no, we're never going to get a third rounder. No way. Absolutely not.
I don't know.
But then they thought through, like, okay, they're being picky with what they're giving up for a goalie. So right now, their salary cap for goalies in that session, 5.9, 4.9, 4.5.
Obviously, they're gonna dump at least one of them, possibly both.
No time to get picky.
No, beggars can't be choosers. Bowman had a pretty interesting week. He came out and said that he wants to resign Yurko. Said a quote from Brian Hedger. He wants Yurko to be Panic Part 2. Which, am I reading that as...
overpay a third, fourth line guy?
Right, that one, or surprising everybody with this play?
With 40 points.
Well, here is a quote from Bowman.
40 points that nobody expected.
Here's a quote from Bowman regarding Yurko. Think he's going to be way better next year just because he's going to be a lot more prepared and he's a lot healthier. The opportunity is there for him. He just needs to take it. So it sounds like he is being given the keys.
It's risky. It's real risky.
I mean, think about, like, Bowman has got, what I'm starting to notice with him is he takes pride in finding these players that were once regarded as, like, these big prospects, Panic, Rundblad, Yurko, and, rebuilding them up, giving them their second chance, and making them this all-star player. He's 1 for 2 so far. Because, Rundblad who, I think, is better. But...
Ask the Swiss. They'll know. I mean... Yurko's been in the league for 4 years. Past 2 years have been injury-riddled. He played in 44 games last year. 2 years ago. And then last year, he only played in 29, split between the Wings and the Hawks.
See,
And then he played 63 in 2014-2015,
Well, like
which he might have been hurt there too, or he might just sat a couple games. I'm not 100%
what
sure.
what are his numbers, though? Like, I mean, goals, does he put up numbers at least?
In 63 games, he 3 goals, 15 assists. In 44, 4 goals, 2 assists. And last year in 29, 1 goal.
Yeah.
And a minus 12. Like,
I mean, we kind of talked about it last podcast. I would not mind to see him on the team next year, but it's got to be for a very close to minimum deal.
he had a pretty decent, quote-unquote, rookie year. 2013-2014, he played in 36 games, 8 goals, 7 assists. 15 points in 36 games. That's not bad for a rookie.
Yeah, I think he's got potential.
And then after that, though, like, what happened?
I really think
You
he's
know?
got the chance. Was that also like the transition between Babcock and...
I think 2013-2014 was the last year with Babcock.
Because that also might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case...
He's really going to have a hard time in Chicago.
Yeah, Q is, you know...
Q is very... I don't know what's the best way to say it. You ain't the top 6, you ain't shit,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Babcock was coaching for 2013-2014 season.
2013-14.
Yeah.
Because this
That
is
was-
Babcock's second season in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was his last year. No, 14-15 was his last year.
So, I mean, he could have been in Babcock's doghouse, and then it just kind of got carried
Well, how
over.
much was he in Babcock's doghouse in that first year, though? Where he
True.
puts in 15 points in 36
Did
games.
he play for Grand Rapids at all?
Yeah.
How many? What was his numbers there? Because that's the coach. That's his coach. That was his coach in Detroit.
Yeah. 12-13, 74 games, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points. 32 games in 13-14, split in between that and the NHL. 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points.
So he just might not be an NHL player.
Yeah. I mean, it very well could be.
So when we're saying he could be Panic 2.0, please pray to God that he's banking on it being skill and not money.
Which it could also lead to Panic leaving to Vegas and him saying Panic 2.0 as in taking over a Panic position
I didn't even think of
at a
that.
less pay,
That's true.
Didn't
I
even
which would
think
be
of that.
nice.
Anything, if I get that little update on my phone, Blackhawks re-sign Yurko, and I see anything higher than
A mil.
higher than 9,
I'd say a mil.
he's nothing to prove on Mill.
I don't know. A mill isn't that bad.
For a restricted free agent that hasn't proven much, he's not gonna. I mean, he's not like a Panic. He's not gonna go out there and have offers sitting on the table for
Yeah.
him. This could be. I mean, this has got to be in our favor.
I'm looking at Panic's AHL numbers, too. He basically had the same thing as Yurko. 64 games, 41 points. 13 games, 11 points. And then in the NHL, he really didn't do anything until he came.
This season.
Well, last year, he was pretty... Oh, well... Yeah, he had his moments last year where we were kind of like, oh, this guy could be good, you know.
Panic's
then
a
this
bigger
year he was
guy,
pretty
too,
good.
isn't he?
Huh?
Panic's a bigger guy, isn't he?
Panic is 6'1", 208.
Yurko is 6'2",
Yeah, but how much does he weigh?
188.
Yikes.
Yeah, there's your problem.
I mean, he's fancy. He's got the hands. He's got the. I mean, he had that
He
whole
does.
thing going into his draft about him doing
His
the.
puck control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
That's
even-
all off ice stuff.
even finesse
Yeah.
NHL. I mean, that's not going to get you far.
Hasn't kept him out of the off the IR,
Right.
you know.
But yeah, just a week full of Bowman
Mm-hmm.
comments and quotes. What else did he?
Bowman came out and said that he was not threatening Quenneville with the Mike Kitchen firing. He said there is, quote unquote, no validity to it. Is there any validity to that statement? Because I don't think so.
Bullshit. everybody and their moms know that there is tension between Quinville and Bowman. And
there's been tension. And I don't know. We get that.
I still think that Bowman he might not be, but I think he might feel like he is on the hot seat, and he's making a statement to show that this is his team. He calls the shots, and when Quinville tries how many times Rocky probably sides with Quinville on stuff,
Everybody's against Stan.
Well, now they are.
Yeah.
If they weren't before, they are now.
I just can't wait for the playoffs to be over and just start seeing everything.
I just
that
want to see
happens,
what
Just the expansion draft, the actual draft, just any moves that the Hawks make. I just want to know what's going to happen this offseason.
Like 3 days before the expansion draft is like when I think it's just everything's gonna explode.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna hear deals. That's actually I'm curious. Are they gonna announce deals the teams made with Vegas about protecting players before, or
Well,
is it gonna be like
it would make sense.
Well, they said that they were going to come out with a list of who's protected and not protected for each team.
Yeah.
But Vegas can trade. Hey, you give us a prospect or you give us a draft pick, and we won't take
Like
your
the
player.
Yeah.
the little side details.
So I wonder if
basically.
those side deals are going to be announced or.
Well, I mean, you'll be able to see what kind of trades are moved, and I feel like you can kind of speculate from there if it was
Yeah.
about a player or not.
Very
And
true.
plus, all the NHL analysts I know, they always.
You know
got
what?
the
I would
inside
love to
stuff.
see like a behind the scenes of that.
That would be cool.
You
Like
know?
just the expansion day.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Just like seeing everybody like they had something like that trade deadline a couple years ago.
I remember that. It was like,
And it was literally
the
everybody in a
process.
round table, and they had like names on a chalkboard and crossing it out, and who was going where, like arrows pointing to each player.
Listening
and
to
stuff
calls
like
like
that.
teams
Yeah.
are making.
That was
Yeah,
super
like, that
cool.
was
I would love
cool.
to see stuff like that.
And all the Showtime shows that
Yeah.
NHL does now, and this would
Yeah.
be a great one.
Yeah.
Especially for the expansion draft, which is getting more exposure than any
Mhm.
other
I
expansion
would
draft
love
has
them
so
to see
far.
them do a 24/7 series on this whole first season for Vegas.
Yeah.
I
That
think
would
that
be
would
cool,
be
yeah.
really
That would be
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
People would watch too.
Oh God, yeah.
I think it would be great for the expansion draft for sure because people still are very confused about that.
Oh yeah, I have no
They-
idea.
yeah.
Like I feel like I have an idea, and then like some story comes out. I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Like
You get all like the
that's
little
a thing?
rules. Like everything comes out now. Like how last week it was, Vegas can sign a pending free agent from a team and then trade him, or that.
And
But
if
that
it's-
goes again. If it's before the expansion, that's their pick. But if it's after, it's
It's not their pick.
oh,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
they're building. I know we're going to talk about the expansion
Yeah.
whole thing before it happens, but I mean, they are very much giving Vegas all the opportunity to be competitive this
Yeah.
year.
They
I
could
mean,
be
right away.
They could be stacked.
Yeah.
All right, guys. NHL talk.
Speaking of Vegas,
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, we might as well. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
They got-
Chicago.
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Vegas and the
announced today.
Chicago Wolves are what? Not affiliates. They're
Yeah, they're
sharing.
affiliates.
Yeah, no.
Are they sharing with
No,
St. Louis
they
though?
are. Vegas and Chicago Wolves agreed to a 5-year agreement to be the primary farm team for the
So
Golden
St. Louis
Knights.
has to get a brand new.
So St. Louis this season will be sharing, but they will have no say in coaches.
So
They will have no say in
That's a
management.
terrible.
I don't understand how
Deal.
that works because what happens to all the players? Those
Yeah.
are all St. Louis's players.
So
What-
they are going. Yeah, they're still St. Louis players, but they will be playing for the Vegas.
So
farm
if someone
team.
needs to get called up next year,
where do they go?
where do they go?
If it's a St. Louis roster player, it will
If
go to
it's-
St. Louis.
What about
But-
Vegas? So wait, are they gonna have like 80 people on the roster?
That's what I don't know.
And then, well, after this year, does St. Louis get a new team and take half of Vegas's minor league roster, move them? Like,
Yeah,
what the
that's-
hell?
See, this is
going
what we're
on?
talking about.
This is the expansion
We-
shit we don't.
We
get.
don't understand what's happening.
NHL, please.
Help.
Well, like St.
Help.
Louis was trying to get a team in Kansas City, and in January, the
That would be
commissioner,
nice for them.
the commissioner of the AHL said, nope, there's not going to be a team in Kansas City.
Which I don't get. Why not?
I don't understand why.
The
yeah.
low market areas, which are like nowhere near NHL areas, are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Iowa Wild do really well,
Mhm.
and OKC,
OKC Thunder.
they're
Yeah.
fucking. They get packed barns every
Mhm.
night.
But there was just remember those rumors that Pittsburgh Penguins were going to move to Kansas City, And they're like, oh yeah, they can hold an NHL franchise, but now an NHL team or AHL team is saying no, a team can't last.
Well, maybe
AHL,
that's
no,
just that
NHL
guy.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
Maybe that's the AHL commissioner kind of saying, hey, maybe we don't get one because they're saving one for the NHL.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Arizona moving, maybe?
If
I feel like if
Arizona,
Arizona move, it's
they're
Seattle.
going Seattle, Carolina.
Carolina's been talking
Quebec.
about Quebec, which would be
I've also
sick.
New
I
York?
also read Hartford.
Fucking New York.
I also read Quebec was or not Quebec. Carolina might go back to Hartford.
Hartford.
That'd be cool.
That
That'd be
would
great.
That would be cool.
Bring back the whale.
That would be great.
Still Quebec though. Quebec, Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
They
love
need to
watch
have
those
Quebec.
games.
I want to go to their arena
Mhm.
and see an
Yeah.
NHL game played there. Though it's
Plus-
so dope.
The Whalers and Nordiques probably had like two of the best like setups,
Oh,
like
God,
logos
yeah.
and
Oh,
setups
yeah.
and everything. Oh, loved it.
I'm in the original Jets.
Yes.
I want to know like what they would look like today.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Especially
I feel like we've
since
been-
it's Adidas
we've been
instead of
robbing
Reebok.
that. Yeah.
I just want to see that green back in the NHL. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hartford.
God.
Yeah.
That emerald green.
And then just the whale in front. I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
That's so sick.
Yeah. All right, conference finals started last weekend. Nashville and Anaheim kicked it off with an overtime thriller. James, real deal Neal,
The real deal, bud.
real deal, goes off of the back of Corey Perry and in.
So, watching that goal, I get Gibson. I mean, it was backdoor. PK had a nice fake out shot.
Great play by PK.
Sauced it
That's
over
sick.
to Neal, and Neal just ripped a 1-T. And, Gibson, flopped across. I don't know if he would have had it or not, but Perry sliding across, being a second goalie. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I understand shot blocks are awesome and, like, they're necessary, but, like, that type of situation, when you're flailing as much as the goalie, I don't see it as a necessity. You try to let your goalie get as
If
much
you're
of it as
gonna
you can.
block it,
Be
block
confident. Yeah.
don't just get a part of it. Get
Yeah.
the whole thing, or get the hell out of the way.
Perry does not come off as a shot blocker.
He's had a couple. There was one Game 7 against Edmonton. He had a few in the dying minutes. One broke his stick, and then he had to scramble, and I think he got another one without a stick.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's the playoffs. Everybody's sells
yeah,
out.
he's had a few, but that was I don't know.
I just thought that was kind of a stupid move where
and it
he didn't need to do it, and it might not
Yeah.
have gone in because it
Obviously,
hit
you
him
can-
and fluttered up over
Yeah.
Gibson and in.
You could speculate, but it looked like
It might have gone in.
it looked
anyway,
like it
but-
was no. It looked like it was going to hit Gibson in the
Yeah.
head. You
Yeah.
know, I'm thinking it's going to hit him in the head and either go straight up or bounce out.
Yeah.
So
Which
I don't
could-
know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like in the world we have now, where everybody is blocking shots and the block shots are such a big thing that there's so many times where guys block a shot and it actually makes it worse.
Bobby
Or
Ryan.
they end up blocking a shot and screening the goalie in the process or something, and it bounces the wrong way or
Bobby
something.
Ryan.
Or guys don't sell out at all when they should. When there's a completeness, like, perfect opportunity for them to do it, and they
Vito
just
Bruno.
don't. Yeah, Vito Bruno. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a weird thing for
It
me.
was it. Yeah, that one kind of made me mad for Gibson, just
Yeah.
because like I've been there where you're like, God,
Just let
damn
me
it,
have
I
it.
had it,
Let me do it.
I
yeah.
had it, and you screwed me.
Yeah,
You had it,
but at the
Ooh.
same time, at least the Preds won.
Yeah,
so.
at least the Preds won. And then Game 2, Anaheim came out real slow. I think it was 2 shots in the first period.
Which we were talking about when we started talking about the conference final, about comparing the last series to this series.
Mhm.
Would Nashville be able to take those 2 early goal leads like Edmonton was and hold on to them? But obviously they did just what Edmonton did, and Anaheim they continue to be that late game heroic team.
See, I feel like it was a bit of a coincidence, though. I don't think that's going to happen again, just because Pecorino was not good in Game 2.
Yeah, but who says he's going to be much better the next game?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Just based on how he's played before, that was his first bad game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Rene.
Yeah.
I mean, it
it
took
happens.
his stellar
happens.
numbers of 141 goals against and a 950 save percentage up to a 162 goals against and a 942 save percentage. Still stellar numbers.
Yeah.
But that's a big jump after one game.
Are the Ducks just like this totally different beast than St. Louis and Chicago were, where they can come back, or is it just
I don't know. I mean, I feel
kind
like
of an off game for Nashville?
Anaheim's kind of always been that team. I mean, even when the Hawks played them in 2015, it was always you never knew who was going to win because both teams could just bounce back at any moment. You know, they both have. I mean, Anaheim's got that experience. They got the youth to keep them going. I mean, they are a good team, but
They're just annoying.
yeah.
God, they're the worst.
They're all Ryan Kesslers and Corey Perrys.
Oh.
They're the worst.
Just terrible. I think they don't even have Bieksa playing. I hate Kevin Bieksa.
I can't stand Kevin Bieksa.
They don't even. I don't know what I would do if Kevin Bieksa was in the lineup.
Well, he even came out though and said, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but he was like, Kessler's the type of player that even if he's on your teammate, you still hate him. That's the way he plays.
Which he went from being on a team in Vancouver and then back into Anaheim. That's hilarious. I didn't hear that quote.
Let's talk about that Johansson Kessler
matchup
that's great. Because that's the best part of this series so far. Johansson and Kessler have been at each other's throats for the first two games, and obviously, as we said before, started Game 3 at each other's throats. Kessler, obviously the instigator, but Johansson is not very innocent in this whole thing.
No.
That high stick in the face-off circle in Game 2 where he accidentally missed lifting Kessler's stick and just happened to catch him on the bridge in the nose.
In the opening face-off for Game 3 just now, he didn't even go for the puck, just straight two-handed Kessler right off the draw.
Yeah.
Wasn't there, I don't know what game it was. There was a little slash to the hand, too.
Yeah.
From Johansson to Kessler.
I mean, it's give and take in that kind of scenario.
Thornton on Bowman.
Oh, God, that was rough. But how do you guys feel about the quote that came out from Johansson?
I feel like he's just trying to stir the pot, try to maybe get Kessler off his game, but it's Ryan Kessler. He's so good at this that I don't think much is going to get him off of his game.
I think that was super soft of him to come out and talk about it like he did, because, I mean, he's producing. Whether Kessler's on him or not, he's producing. Why even go out of your way to talk about it when you know that's the type of player Kessler is? And I know you're getting frustrated over it, which is what Kessler wants to do. But, I mean, if you're going out there, giving it back to him, producing, and Kessler's not doing as much as you are, like, scoring-wise, why say it then give it to Kessler and be like, oh, I'm in his head right now. Like,
is he really getting frustrated, though, or is he just having fun with Kessler at this point? Like, is he just saying that to kind of provoke him, poke the beast a little bit?
I feel like it would make Kessler want to just keep going at it, keep doing it more, just because he feels like he's in his head.
What about the fact that he said he's like brought the family into it too?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, I don't know how your
That's
wife
what I mean.
or his kids or
I think he's just trying to poke the beast there. Yeah.
How do you even cheer for him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to poke that beast? Kessler can turn it up if he wants to, especially in the playoffs,
Talking about taking your stick out of the groin every shift, and it's like, well, I mean, it's playoff hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to do...
I mean, Connor McDavid went through 7 games worth of it. I mean, and he didn't say one thing, and it was his first NHL playoff experience. How do you compare,
Johansson better hope that they win this series, though. Otherwise, then he's just going to look like a dumbass for saying that. Just like Kessler looked like a dumbass for saying no mere human can resist all the hits that we're putting on the Blackhawks. Whatever he said in the conference finals 2015.
Yeah, and then, I mean, if I'm Kessler and we end up winning the series, I'm going down the handshake line. I'm giving a little groin shot.
Yeah.
Johansson, 100%. Just a little stick in the foot or something, trying to make him trip.
Just be like, you thought you were getting groin shots before, but you just wait.
Meet him.
Yeah.
Be like,
yeah.
Hey, Johansson, this is my son.
He was cheering for me all series.
Speaking of Johansson, he's part of a line with Forsberg and Arvidsson, which has been dubbed the Jofa line.
Which is fantastic.
That is
Is there a better name
That's
for a line?
probably the best name for a line since the Mighty Ducks Oreo line.
I forgot about that line.
That's
Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Johansson, Forsberg, and Arvidsson in this series. Johansson's a goal and 3 assists, 4 points. Forsberg 2 goals, no assists, 2 points. Arvidsson 2 assists, 2 points.
And they've been they're getting points, but I mean they look good too.
They look great.
They're flying,
yeah.
like they're moving the puck, you know.
Once they get the cycle going, there's no stopping it.
And
There's no stopping it.
They're that line for Nashville right now that when they need something going, they just throw them out there and they find a way to make something happen to get the rest of the boys going.
Yeah.
Man, where did Arvidsson come from?
He had one of the that sick backhand overtime game winner last year against San Jose.
Yes.
In the semis. Like it was like
that was like the first time I heard his name, and I was
under
like,
a minute
what?
in, and I remember watching that backhand. I was like, "Holy
who
shit.
was this kid?" Yeah,
Who
then
was
he
that?
just had a great year
Yeah.
this year.
He is a RFA, and he is eligible for arbitration.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he can easily say,
I need money.
Yeah.
he can easily say. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. He can go in and say, "I'm worth $7 million."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Forsberg's making $6 million.
Forsberg's at 6. How much is Johansson at?
Johansson.
Wait, Phil or Peter?
Yeah, Peter's still getting.
Johansson is at $4 million, but he is also a arbitration RFA this year.
Really?
Oh,
So Nashville.
well, that's
mean-
kind of a pick your poison then.
Arvidsson had
Or,
61
I don't know, pick your
points.
margarita.
They
I don't know.
only
Margarita.
have if the
Nashville.
cap
pick your beer. I don't know.
if the cap stays
It's
at
not poison.
73 million.
Whiskey.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If the cap stays at 73 million, Nashville only has 17 million to play with. And
How many free agents do they have?
6 UFAs,
Well, obviously
6 RFAs.
that'll create space, but
But it's
fuck,
still a
12
lot.
free
Yeah.
agents.
I mean, you're looking
I
at.
feel like we're saying that for every NHL team. We're like, damn, they got a lot to do.
See, but
and
okay,
not very
so
much
2
cap
of their
space.
free agents. There's some free agents are
This is why we're not in front offices.
Yannick Weber, who literally just took Shea Weber's jersey. Brad Hunt, Harry Zonkarski,
I'm sorry. I think you mean
Zolnkerts.
Zolnerchek.
Zolnerchek. Is that really it?
Yeah, Zolnerchek.
Wow. I'm horrible with names.
Zonkarski. I like that.
Zolnkerski. I also can't read. I thought that was an I. I don't know.
Can't even read.
Can't read at all.
But yeah, I mean, and Fisher is like the big one that's up. Fiddler.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, so that's story of every team.
Looking at Arvidsson and Johansson's numbers from this year, they both had 61 points. Johansson only had 14 goals, though, had 47 assists, and Arvidsson had 31 goals, 30 assists.
See,
Arvidsson didn't. He went on like one really huge tear going towards the end of the year, if I
Yeah.
remember.
right when
Before
we dropped
that-
him and I picked him up in
Yeah.
fantasy.
Oh, yeah,
Before that, it wasn't really much
Didn't work
coming
out for
from
you,
him.
though.
He was very like streaky. He would
Yeah.
have like a couple weeks where he was just on fire, and then it would be nothing.
But, I mean, streaky, and he still had the same amount of points and had
No.
double the goals
Yeah.
as Johansson.
Yeah.
And
Is Johansson a Taze-like player where, he doesn't need to be putting up goals? What else he does out there? Or do you think he's still enough
I feel
I
like
can
he
kinda
needs
see
to
him
put
as-
up a couple more points
Yeah.
than he did.
I feel like he's more of a Hossa.
Yeah, but who's... I mean...
Fisher.
They don't have that big time goal scorer. I mean, Forsberg's streaky, Arvidsson's streaky, and then Johansson. Those are their top 3
That's where
scorers.
the back end comes from, though. That's
Yeah.
where the defense comes
Yeah,
from.
that's true. Whenever you need a goal, hey,
Uh-huh.
let's just throw 3D out there. Why
Uh-huh.
not?
Forsberg is only 22 years old.
Yeah.
Ugh. And he's locked up through 21, 22.
Wow.
That's stupid.
How much is he making?
6 mil.
That's
I feel like
crazy.
Good for
Forsberg's been
Nashville
around
on
for.
that
Yeah.
I feel like Forsberg's been around for like 6 years already. I don't know why, but I
Yeah.
feel like he's been around for.
It's
a
only
while.
been 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also part of the best trade in NHL history. So,
Oh.
like,
Well,
we'll not go
one
an episode
for
without,
Nashville.
Yeah.
without that coming up.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of trades and looking at the Ducks, so when they traded away Bobby Ryan to Ottawa, which it's crazy that they're both in the conference final right now on
Uh-huh.
opposite sides. Bobby Ryan went to Ottawa for the Ducks got Jakob Silverberg, Stefan Noason, and a first-round pick in 2014 draft, which ended up being Nick Ritchie, who's been playing really well. He's on the first line right now with Getzlaff, and he scored the game winner last game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's kind of... Ottawa traded away a lot for Ryan, but how well Ryan's playing right now.
It's like one of the few times that it actually worked out both sides.
When you trade that much away to get one guy and it's working out equally, probably.
Who won that trade though?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I would say Anaheim just because they got 3 guys instead of just one.
Yeah, but I feel like Bobby Ryan's worth all 3 though.
I don't know.
You know?
I mean, Jakob Silfverberg he's a big time player.
Well, think about it, Bobby Ryan's 30,
Yeah.
and
he had a soft season this year. He
He
hasn't
did,
been.
but he was
what-
also hurt, didn't he? Wasn't he?
Well, I mean, since he's gone there,
I mean, he's been hurt a
Yeah.
yeah,
lot.
since he's gone there,
Yeah.
he hasn't been playing
Yeah.
what he was in Anaheim until this playoffs.
Yeah.
Which he said it was hard for him to adjust to the Guy Boucher type play this season.
See, last year or this season, he only played 62 games. Last year, he played 81, then 78, 70. Well, that was all through Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he only played the shortened season. He played 46.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his
So
numbers.
it's only a handful of games.
His numbers have gone down though
Yeah,
since leaving Anaheim.
but I mean, who?
He also had Perry and Getzlaff.
But you
and
got Carlson
Solani.
and
I
Hoffman.
feel
and Turris.
Ottawa's scoring is more spread out.
I
where
think-
Anaheim it was strictly
the top
the
guys,
top guys.
scored.
Ottawa, anybody can score.
But also
12
Ottawa,
goals, in
Yeah.
a game.
Ottawa doesn't. They don't try to score as many goals as they possibly can, like the Ducks do. They sit back and wait for the
They played defensive.
key opportunity
Yeah.
to go score, and then they take advantage of it, and they sit back again.
They like to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Well, how well did that work in game 2?
Well, it did. It worked great until they decided not to pressure whatsoever.
I know.
So are we moving on to Ottawa Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I mean,
Do we have any more notes?
Well, okay. Well, here, what your impression? It's one.
Real quick, just the James Neal goal in Game 2 was just hilarious because Gibson just didn't see anything, misread it completely, and Neal literally had the time to stick handle, realize there was an empty net, pull it from the goal line in front
Have
of
a
the net,
smoke.
and then put it home, grab a dart, rip it real quick, and then just skate away like, oh, hey, thanks. That was awesome.
boop, that was easy.
Yeah.
So 1-1.
Um,
Your opinions? We all took Nashville. I mean,
Yeah.
Anything changed? I mean,
No.
through 2 games.
No.
No.
Especially now that Nashville's got home ice advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
as
don't-
of recording now at 7:48 on Tuesday, it is 0-0 with 31 seconds left in the first period. So
Also, if they get a big 2-goal lead to start the game like they did last game, I don't see them blowing it like they did
home
last
ice,
game.
yeah,
Not at all.
that's
I
a
don't-
different beast.
Yeah.
I think Nashville
Especially
is
for
still
Nashville.
still gonna get it.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, Ottawa. Game 1, Ottawa in overtime. After Pittsburgh came back and tied it. Pretty late.
Yeah.
Pretty late. With if Kenny Mull can redirect that, I still think about at night when I'm alone.
Cry.
Absolutely.
Good cry.
Oh man, that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was a pretty little redirect. Ottawa shutout in game 2 for the first time since February 24th.
That's crazy. 2-4.
2-4. That's insane.
The Phil.
The Phil. Yeah.
The
He
Phil.
ruined it.
The angry Phil.
Yeah.
Damn.
He must not have been. The locker room must have been out of stock of Coke or something like that.
I don't know. He's had a very angry playoff year. He's yelling at his trainers. He's yelling at Gino a lot.
I feel like since he's gone to Pittsburgh, he just has not been happy. But he won the cup, so it made up for it.
Yeah.
And now he's just
'Cause,
not
I mean, look
happy
at it.
again.
The first thing he does when he wins the cup, he takes it back to Toronto. I think he generally loved being in Toronto.
Oh, yeah. How could you not like it
I'm-
up there for him?
I'm as big of a fan as Phil, as you guys are. But he was kind of acting like a baby yesterday. I mean, he was like stamping his feet.
He's like the-
throwing his hands.
He's like the middle child that doesn't get any attention
Yeah.
between
Like, yeah,
Crosby
I mean,
and Malkin and him.
Yeah.
He wants. I feel like he's the type
He's
of
so-
player.
I was,
he
like,
wants to
embarrassed
be.
watching
He
him.
wants to be the guy.
He was so used to it up in Toronto being that guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he played a lot. I wouldn't say a lot better, but he played better being that low-key guy that scores 20, 30 goals but has 3 guys ahead of him
Yeah.
in points
He
anyway.
fluctuates from the third line, second line. I mean, he rarely is seeing first line numbers.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's because you just have Crosby, and then you
Right.
can throw whoever you want with Crosby up there.
man. So
when he scored in Game 2, they had a slow-mo close-up of him, and he was facing Malkin coming towards him, and it wasn't like, yeah, I scored. It was, I fucking told you I was gonna fucking like, he was pissed. It was like Kane with,
I was just gonna say
Kane with
Taze and
Taves.
Kane when they when Kane kept or Taze kept saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
pass the puck," and Kane kept
Yeah.
ripping it, and then finally Kane passed it to Taze, and Taze put it home, and he goes, "Huh, I fucking told you."
Oh, man.
Do you think that Pittsburgh can last with this many big names like this?
Well, if they keep getting injuries, no.
Yeah, I know.
They lost last game. They lost Schultz, which looked like a shoulder, probably separation. Hoffman hit him into the corner, and he went shoulder first in
I
the
thought
boards.
maybe even collarbone.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, because it was
Limp.
slumped. He wasn't moving at all.
He could have just
which-
dislocated
yeah,
it too.
it could have been
Who knows?
any-
Yeah,
any
but
one of
it's
those.
shoulder, collarbone area, and then Russ got just fnuffed
God.
so
In
hard.
the next month.
And my favorite thing about that hit, it was completely clean. There was no penalty on the play.
Yep.
He was down. He got up himself. There was no penalty because he was down for a bit, and nobody went after Phaneuf because it was clean and it was a nice open ice hit. And I was like, oh my god, thank you, finally, some nice open ice hit, and nobody's getting trampled over for it.
That's not going to happen in the playoffs unless it's a star player. I don't think. I mean,
Yeah. It was.
Like, there's
let's
no-
be honest. It was Brian Russ.
yeah. I mean, they're not going to risk.
mean,
getting
If it was Sid
Well, yeah,
Total
obviously
different
it's
soul-
completely
story.
different, but
or Malkin, Gensel even.
I don't know. I mean, why Gensel more than Rust? I understand Gensel's leading the playoffs, but I mean,
That's why.
Rust has 5 goals for them, 2-game winners.
fair.
Good point. That's a good point.
He's playing on a line with Crosby,
that helps.
so I
that
mean,
helps a lot.
but yeah, I was just really happy about that hit. And then
Yeah.
Hornquist was out last game, and Carl Hagelin came in, and I was watching the pregame, and they were talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, this is terrible. If I'm Ottawa, I'm so happy about this." I was like, "Really? Hagelin was doing well." And then I looked
Didn't they
at the
reunite
numbers.
the HBK line?
Yeah,
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
but then I was looking, and Hornquist has played in 13 games in the playoffs this year. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists, and he's a +5. Carl Hagelin has played in 6 playoff games this season. He has 1 goal, no assists, and he's a -2. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was playing that bad. And he only has 10 shots, and Hornquist has 30.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is Daly still out for Pittsburgh? Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not
he's
even
questionable. No, they said that he was questionable for next game.
I heard he hasn't even practiced yet.
Well, since Schultz is out there saying
Yeah,
he might.
maybe.
yeah.
Which
Suck it up and
Schultz,
go.
yeah, Schultz, that's a huge blow because he's
Yeah.
been underrated, one of the best D for
Oh
them.
God,
Mhm.
yeah. That was probably the best move they've ever made. Was
Yeah.
And
picking him up.
That's a very depleted D line. I mean,
Oh
Letang
my
is
God,
out. Letang is
Letang.
out already,
Mata,
and then only Mata. I think he's coming back.
he
though.
might be, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Daly.
Daly and now
Schultz.
Schultz. That's 4.
That's
your
your
top.
That's
4.
your top 4.
That's-
Yeah.
Was he Letang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Poor Chris Letang. Man.
Oh,
That guy
God.
cannot catch a break. But yeah, that's rough. And for them to still make the playoff push that they did to win the cup,
Mhm.
make the playoff push that they're doing now, it's just
they're doing it with
unreal.
rookies.
Yeah, it's just unreal. We've talked about their rookies before and their numbers, and it's just stupid.
Well, and it's their core too. That's getting most of it done. I mean, you got Malkin in game 1, and then
Phil.
Kessel, yeah, and then you got Fleury playing out of his mind. I mean, I if Fleury's not playing as well as he is,
Oh, they're done.
if he's like not even bad, like average Fleury, if he's just good,
Decent
not
Fleury.
not great, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
They're
they make
done.
it past the
Oh no,
the semis.
he's been standing on his head a
Yeah.
lot because of that. I feel like that D is
Mhm.
just so
Mhm.
so done.
As-
Sorry,
Go ahead.
no.
As good as he's been, Anderson
I was
has
just gonna
been
say
even better though.
Anderson's been
Anderson's been
unbelievable.
unbelievable. He had a windmill that I felt the breeze all the way over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck, keep spinning, you'll start energizing the whole city.
that was something. That was I talk about taking the wind out of the sails of the arena.
Yeah.
That place was dead silent.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do on the road. In Game 2, when you're up 1-0 in a playoff
Yeah.
series against the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially,
Yeah.
do anything you can to take that fan base out of it right away, and they did that. And it's kind of funny how well Anderson's playing, and like we said before, how Ottawa's a defense first type team. they just sit back and wait. And I couldn't find any time on attack stats for like NHL games, but their time on attack has got to be so much lower.
Oh my God.
Than Pittsburgh and the Rangers when they were playing the Rangers. But they just, like we said, they just sit back, play D. Anderson stands on his head, and then they just take advantage of any situation where they can go down and score.
I was a little nervous for Ottawa going into this series just because of those few games where they give up 4, 5 against New York, and it was like, if you do that, if you could do that against Pittsburgh, you're done in 4 or 5.
Yeah, because you're not going to make that let in 5 and come back and score. Have Pajot go score 4 goals and win 6-5.
No way. But they've done a very good job for the first 2 games.
Speaking of Pajot, he had 12 goals in the regular season. He has 8 right now in the playoffs.
That's unreal.
And 4 in one game, which is just crazy.
Crazy. Is he hitting his stride, or is he just like feeling it at the right time?
I think both.
Both?
Yeah, because I mean, in the regular season he's good, but like we said, the scoring's so spread out on that team that it was just a matter of time before one of them kind of stepped up and started just taking the reins on leading the goal scorers.
I'm going to see if they had a single, 20-goal scorer on that team this year.
I don't
Did you see in Game 1, I think I showed you, Poets, the first goal that went in for Ottawa? It was that Bobby Ryan behind the back pass.
Oh,
They've done that 3 or 4 times this year, and it's worked almost every time.
Do you think Fleury should have had that one? Because we talked about this a little bit. Because, okay, so set up the play. Bobby Ryan's going behind the net, does the no-look behind the back pass to Pajot, which usually makes the goalie lean one way and that whoever has the puck gets an empty net. But it went right to Pajot, right in front, and Fleury looked right at Pajot and saw the whole play coming, and Pajot still went near side top shelf right over the glove, which Fleury's glove's always so low.
Mm-hmm. He chicken winged. He did the whole beat, and he threw the elbow up instead of throwing up his glove, which why? Why? It's so stupid.
Hey, man, they're in the show. Leave them alone.
I know they're in the show. I get it. But it's right there. Just put it up. I'll help you. I'll put a string on it.
Yeah.
I'll be in the stands. Just
the
pulling it
master.
up for you. Yeah.
So do you think, I mean...
I thought that it was savable. He read the play the whole time. If he didn't read the play...
Which, that's what I mean. Like,
right.
he read it so perfectly. And you go near side top
Fleury
shelf.
has been... Actually, it just popped up on the TV just now.
Yeah.
Fleury's been susceptible to that play. I think the Hawks scored on it this year. I think Kane did it to Panarin, or Panarin did it.
Yeah.
And gave it to Kane. Something like that. So that it happens to Fleury. But he read that perfectly, and I don't know. He didn't move out off the post, and he kept his glove down and threw up the chicken wing. So I thought he could have had it. Unreal play, though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Just a great play.
So, I mean, he makes that save. Malkin scores late. They win, probably.
It's 2 straight shutouts. 3 straight shutouts for Fleury. So, also, Ottawa had 3 20-goal scorers. Turris had 27. Hoffman with 26. Stone with 22.
Ooh, Mark Stone, nice.
Carlson was next with 17. Because
fuck you.
Course, because of course.
Because fuck you, NHL. I don't care if you call me a defenseman. I'm going to score.
Yeah. Talk to me after game 3 in Ottawa.
Yeah. I mean, there's still...
I still don't know what's going to happen with this series. I think Ottawa's going to take one at home.
I truly didn't think it was going to be this tight.
I did. Just because Pittsburgh's so depleted, which is Pittsburgh Penguin hockey, just lose as many guys as you can and still try to score. And just the way that Ottawa plays is shutting down the Penguins' offense. I didn't think they'd be able to shut it down as much as they have, but they're doing such a good job with that 1-3-1 setup, and just anytime the Penguins try to come in the blue line, they just step on them, and they don't know what to do with the puck.
Penguins aren't having much trouble with that 1-3-1.
I don't know. They're having a little bit of trouble getting into the blue line at first, but once they're in the blue line, they're fine. Once they're in, it's just entering the zone, because they showed a lot of times where yesterday's game, Phaneuf was stepping up at the blue line, or Carlson, and they showed that offensive man.
They modified something in the third period.
Yeah.
Which is actually how Kessel scored his goal. I forgot what happened. I think they had two guys going
Pressure
to the same
one
spot.
side.
Yeah, the Penguins had Malkin and somebody else going to the same side. I think that's what it was.
It was kind of a chip.
Yeah,
you pick
which
it up and go.
drew 3 Senators.
And then far side was wide open for
Kessel wide open.
Which, that goal was... He ripped that first shot that got blocked. He
I don't know how
absolutely
that-
ripped that, and then he just muffed the second one, and it just went in.
Should have broke whoever's foot that was.
Yeah, it might have. Who knows?
Yeah,
They're still
who
in the
knows?
playoffs, so
Yeah.
you don't know.
I hope it wasn't Carlson, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
We would have heard the scream if it was. Yeah, I don't think that's going to change, though. I still got Pittsburgh in 7 or Ottawa in 7. You know what I mean?
Still got both,
Yeah,
whatever.
whichever one is
It's
gonna
going
happen.
7.
I think
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
It's
or
gonna go
Ottawa
7.
will win in either game 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah.
Well, no,
well,
not
now
4.
5, 6, or 7.
5, 6, or
Yeah,
7.
so
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna nail it on the head with that one. You guys want to place bets on that or not?
No.
I'm good. I'm good.
No, I don't have the money. All right, guys, we're gonna make our way now to Riding Pine.
You're riding the pine pony, pal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Our first Riding Pine question. Our first and only, I think.
I think we only got one this week.
just our only
for this episode.
Tanner writes, which player gets a bigger contract, Tavares after next year or Carlson the year after? Hashtag Riding Pine.
Thanks for the hashtag.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn.
They're both 26.
I think it depends on where Tavares ends up.
Yes,
So
that's a huge factor.
yeah.
If he ends up back in New York, I think he's getting more than Carlson does.
Because
No.
you don't think so?
I actually, it doesn't matter. I think Carlson's
Carlson?
getting it either way. Because, like we said before, Carlson's the carry price of Ottawa. Like, without
but
him,
wouldn't you-
he's not there. And Tavares, you could say, is the same, but it's still, Ottawa makes the playoffs and is in the conference final. Islanders didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they won their first playoff round in how many years last year?
28, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tavares is by far the best player on the Islanders, but it's nowhere near Carlson.
No.
I think Tavares could make more if he moves to a team that's got a lot of cap and they're throwing stupid money.
Just to attract
get
him there.
in there.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina,
Vegas.
Ooh, I would not want to see that.
I wouldn't want to see that either. But
Unless the jerseys are sick.
forget about the veto. What Vito brought up.
To the Hawks.
last
To the
time.
Hawks.
To the Hawks.
So,
If that's the case, Carlson's getting most of it.
He better be getting the more money.
how much do you think each guy's going to be asking for?
Well, hang on. I just closed cat friendly too.
I think it's 11 up, yeah.
Okay, do you have it up quickly? Can you
Yeah.
tell me what they're each making currently?
Tavares has a 5.5.
Oh, God. That's nothing for him.
Nope.
Carlson is at 6.5.
They're both easily going to be 8-9.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Both of them are gonna hover around there.
Sorry, off topic. Popular buyouts, because cat friendly, you can go and you can make moves.
Yeah.
If you're a GM.
Yeah.
The third most popular cat buyout, Ovechkin.
Jesus.
Washington fans, calm down.
Take it easy.
They're not happy. They're not happy.
Yeah, I think Carlson's going to get more money.
I think, yeah.
I think Tavares but
Not saying that
I don't think
Tavares
it's going
shouldn't get that much money.
It's
just
not going to be.
Yeah.
I think it might be point something difference. I don't think it's going to be millions different.
Yeah.
I feel like if Tavares went to another team, signed like a 2-year deal at about what he's making now, or a 1-year deal even, just tore it up, then he would cash in even more.
If you're
than he
Tavares,
could.
though, would you want to do that?
No, you wouldn't.
I
But
mean-
you could. I feel like that's what he
Yeah.
could do potentially.
I mean, he's 26. He's young. But it's like, at the same time, that window You know, it's that he's in that window period right now, so I think he would.
Bigger question: does Ottawa go for both? It's just, hey, we'll match you guys together, same amount. Why not?
So do we also want to throw in
Who do they drop then?
Yeah, I don't know.
how much money do you think Price is going to get thrown at?
Ugh.
A lot.
He's gonna make more than Taze and Kane, I bet.
Yeah.
Or
Probably
same
combined.
amount.
Yeah. More than
Just
Taze and
combined.
Kane
Yeah,
combined.
okay. Let's just
20
throw
mil?
$21 million at it.
Jesus.
Who cares about the rest of our team? Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. They got third and fourth line guys. Why
I
not?
Could you imagine if they pay him $21 million and he gets hurt in like the first week like he did 2 years ago?
He would be the Rick DiPietro. Signs a massive deal.
Don't even bring up Rick DiPietro.
Don't ever compare Rick DiPietro to Carey
No.
Price, ever.
The
That's
only
terrible.
comparison I was making was the big money contract gets
And the
thrown, and
injuries.
then boom, career over. And now he's getting paid stupid money to be a broadcaster for the Islanders.
And I think he's still getting a check from the Islanders for being a player.
Which
Yeah, he is. He's still technically bought out. I mean, they had a
Yeah.
buyout
Yeah.
15 years.
he did one of the funniest things though.
15 years.
I think he was like one of the pregame like intermission people. And it was after one of the games. It was they played Montreal at home and they had won, and he was wearing the Grice is Right t-shirt, and he was literally like just selling so hard. He was like, the Grice is right, you guys. The Grice is right.
That's awesome.
That was pretty funny.
So he is being bought out, but because he was bought out before the new CBA, it doesn't go against
Their cap.
their cap.
Yeah.
No
But
shit.
they have on really he was making 1.5 million for his buyout until 2028-29.
Oh my god.
He could literally retire.
He doesn't have to do shit.
He doesn't have to do anything.
$1.5 million for the Nets, 12 years.
Oh,
That's Hossa.
That's
Just not as much. But that's Hossa.
and he's not playing.
Oh my god.
Rick DiPietro did life right. Just made it to the
Who
show.
gave him
signed
that
a huge
contract? Was that Gar Snow?
No, I think that was way before Gar Snow.
So
Was it Milbury?
going back to
That
Montreal,
would be a Milbury move.
they have 470,000 in cap space, and Price is at 6.5 mil.
Price is gonna be. He's
He's gonna make stupid money. Right now, Shea Weber makes the most at 7.8, and he's signed for a while.
He's gonna be making a lot more than some.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can tell you that
absolutely.
right now.
do you? I know your response to this because one, it's Price, and two, you're a goalie.
They also
Do-
have 9 free agents.
Do
Sorry.
goalies? I mean, do you put that much money into a goalie? Only, I mean, we're not visual, so
No. No. Just because of what happened to him last year.
I can't see. I mean, look
And
at
Rick DiPietro.
and looking at Dallas' situation, look how much money
Marc
they've
Andre
invested,
Fleury for the
like-
past couple of years. How do you do that? It's just like the same reason why after Fleury and DiPietro that you
When
haven't
you
seen
have so many
number
more
1
positions-
overall
yeah,
goalie get drafted.
We have so many more positions to fill. How do you
You can-
justify putting that much money into?
You can build a team around an average goalie and win the Stanley Cup. You can't build an average team around a good goalie and win the Stanley Cup. In my opinion.
I'm gonna think about that.
Go ahead and try to figure out a team that had an unreal goalie and
So
average offense.
do you want this on this podcast? Or are you gonna like
Take your
come
time,
and
man.
lawyer up?
No, you know what?
and-
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna come back next podcast with my answer. I'm gonna actually do a lot of research on this, and I'm going to shove it right up your bumhole.
Well, you know what? I
I
also
can't wait because I've got so many examples.
I also have something for the next podcast. I was waiting for approval to talk about it on the show, and it involves price, a theory with price, but we'll save it for that episode.
The Theory of Price. That's what the name of the next podcast will be.
Not the Price is Right because
Uh-huh.
it ain't anymore.
Price is wrong, bitch.
All right. right, y'all. I think that about wraps it up for us. Thank you for listening to episode 6 of the Windy City Benders podcast.
Fucking killing it, baby.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, my mom said that every time you swear, you have to put $1 in the swear jar.
Who gets that $1 back? Me?
I think it goes.
No, me.
No, we'll throw it right
No,
back into the show. You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know what? No, that's fine.
No,
Yeah.
that's not fair.
I was gonna be selfish, but that's a great idea.
That's not fair, dude. I'm calling Democrats.
That's
I
another
want that hard-earned money from you guys coming back to me. All right, that's enough of this.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. From Poets, Nolly, and Jarom.
Adios.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Follow the guys on Twitter at WCBP, on Instagram, WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, The Windy City Benders Podcast. The Windy City Benders Podcast.